Today, we're going to be talking about Giancarlo Stanton as he gets ready to somewhat return soon to the New York Yankees. Brian Cashman said today on MLB radio that he's scheduled for live BP for the next 2 weeks, and he's really close to doing a rehab assignment thereafter. So after Stanton does those 2 weeks of batting practice, then he could start a rehab assignment with either Scranton, Somerset, maybe Tampa. Who knows? We know Stan has been taking some batting practice on the field, and we also know that he was hitting off the traject machine. So still a little bit a ways away, but that's a big update on Giancarlo Stanton. But it begs the question, what is going to happen to Ben Rice when Giancarlo Stanton returns?
Yeah, I think it's something that, we had in our minds originally. We made a video about a month ago about if Ben Rice could play third base, but I think we kind of just kept, pushing it off. We're like, we don't know where we're going to be at injury-wise. We don't know if Ben Rice is going to keep this up, but it's kind of getting to the point where, like, Ben Rice is legit. Stanton's, like, really getting there, and they both are DHs. Right? I know Ben Rice can play first base and he can catch a little bit, but we have a catcher and we have a first baseman who are both playing great too. So, I know it's kind of a, when you first look at it, the fact that Giancarlo Stanton or Ben Rice is likely going to be on the bench almost every day. Obviously, you can mix a match occasionally, give Goldie an off day or so on. But ultimately, like, good problems. And the Yankees really, really need, like, right-handed bats right now. Would it be the worst thing in the world if you had Giancarlo Stanton waiting on the bench in the seventh inning?
Well, I mean, if you look at Stanton's career numbers as a pitch hitter, they're not good at all, really not good. I don't know if that's going to work. And we know Giancarlo Stanton is a guy who needs to get regular reps. We've seen some of his slumps in his career. And Christian, when he comes off the injured list, he'll go, 2, 3 weeks where he's just swinging at everything. He doesn't look right. It takes him a while to get his timing. I think Giancarlo Stanton's a guy that needs to be playing every day. Yeah, you'll have that thought in the back of your mind. Hey, we got Giancarlo Stanton up there. He could give us, a 3-run blast at any time. And that's great. But I really think Stanton needs to be playing every single day at that DH spot. So that's why I don't know if a platoon situation is going to work. And when's the last time Giancarlo Stanton has been in a platoon situation? Or when's the last time Giancarlo Stanton hasn't played every day? So it's a really tough decision to make. And you got to keep Ben Rice in the lineup somehow. I mean, he has 10 home runs, a 245 batting average, and an 860 OPS this season. It's going to be very complicated because you can't really take Goldschmidt off of first base because he's been unbelievable. I think he's like, second in the American League, maybe second all baseball and batting average. He's been terrific. So you can't really move him off there. Ben Rice, look, the Yankees doesn't look like they're going to try him at third base at all. Boone was asked about it and basically said, there's nothing really to it. So I don't know. Third base, is that really an option? Maybe catcher. We have seen Ben Rice get into a lot of games this season where the Yankees have big leads at catcher. Is that just a way to keep him fresh, make sure he's getting some action behind home plate? Or do the Yankees use that as a way for, an opportunity for Ben Rice to get into that lineup? Maybe they kind of have a backup catcher platoon situation with Ascara and Rice. I mean, they're both left-handed hitting. Who knows if Ben Rice could totally do that yet at the big league level? There's a lot of questions to be had there. And obviously, the outfield is a logjam as well. So now they can't even fit like Jason Dominguez to have a DH day. So that makes things even more complicated because the Yankees have had a carousel in the outfield trying to get guys action there. So, Christian, like you said, it's a good problem to have, but a
Yeah.
very tricky situation for the New York Yankees.
Yeah, I think part of it will sort itself out. When we see Stanton in 3-4 weeks, whenever it is, I think there will be a little bit clearer of a picture. And what by that I just mean, like, for example, Bellinger, Dominguez. I think we'll have a better picture of who do we want in the lineup more. Kind of the same thing. If Rice continues and he's sitting around a 900 OPS, well, yeah, he's gonna have to play every day. It's plain and simple. Or else trade him. Like there literally won't be an alternative. It would just be wasted talent. So, I these are fun conversations to have because it's like so many good options that we can just juggle around. But it is something that, if third base is out of the question, something to start thinking about. Are we going to be shipping off a piece at the deadline for something else in return, like starting pitching? Are we trying guys out at other positions? But something has to start happening, or else we might find ourselves in a situation where there's guys who should be playing every day that just aren't.
Yeah, I would really try giving Ben Rice a shot at third base. And although this is a good problem to have for the New York Yankees, it almost seems like it actually is a problem because it is really complicated. So we'll ultimately see what they do. But the Yankees definitely got a tricky situation on their hands. But with that being said, I guess a good one.